Oh boy. So Natasha posts a really nice post up in the Law of Attraction by Neville Goddard group about signs. And she gets it. Don't worry about them, right? And then Nagar sends me an email saying, hey, your podcast, your volume has been low recently. And I thought, that's really weird. I mean, it should be higher. Here's the thing. Should be higher. My rational mind goes, well, I've switched microphones. I've invested in all this stuff. It should be higher. So, all right. Let's call that feedback. I'm a fan of feedback. You see, the best feedback, by the way, it's all about noticing human behavior. When someone takes a moment, someone that I know, love, and trust, someone who's done a lot of our stuff, someone who's been around for a while, takes the time to email me and say, hey, you know, your podcast sucks. Well, she didn't say that. She did say the audio was a little low, and I thought, that's interesting. I'm taking that as feedback. I find feedback interesting. So, feedback is based on human behavior. Human behavior comes from state. Ready? I'm imagining a kick-ass podcast, excellent quality sound, all your feedbacks, you know. Dear Mr. 2020, this is why I signed up for Manifesting Mastery. Course.com, I've told you about this. My Joseph Goddard before I get out of bed in the morning. And I get out of bed in the morning to an email that says your podcast volume's too low. That's good. That's feedback. That's letting me know something needs adjusted. So I've made some adjustments. Let me know how I did. Because this is what's really cool. When it comes to manifesting, you're getting feedback all the time. But if you're looking for signs, you're missing it. Let that sink in. When it comes to manifesting, you are getting feedback. In other words, food. Nagar fed me today. You're getting feedback all the time. But if you're looking for signs, you're going to miss it. Stop looking for signs. By the way, what's feedback? Feedback is based on human behavior. Nagar behaved a certain way. That affects my behavior in the coolest way because my state has me doing an excellent job. When I find out it's a little off, I make adjustments. Can't help it. I want this to be the best podcast on the internet when it comes to this stuff. Maybe not the best bumper music. You notice I don't waste time with that. Maybe, not the best editing. You notice I don't waste time with that. I'm not into editing music. I could care less. I care about you. So what's feedback? On a day-to-day basis, feedback is noticing where am I perceiving the world from? Where am I perceiving the world from? A state is how you experience what you experience. A state is how you experience what you experience. Manifesting Mastery course, week 1, really helps you discover how are you experiencing what you're experiencing. The whole program helps you change that. But we need you to notice where are you starting from on a moment-by-moment basis. And that doesn't mean looking for signs. It means noticing what are you actually feeling is real. Because you'll perceive the world differently. See, here's the thing. Ready? Loving husband perceives the world differently than swinging single guy. Loving husband, even when he's single, is perceived differently than swinging single guy. Guys, we know, hey, that one would be good for a weekend. That one I'd like to marry. You avoid one and go and run after the other. And which one you avoid and which one you run after depends on your state. You get it? This is what's fun. This is what's noticing. There's so much power in noticing. Hey, I could have taken that as a sign. Yay. See, I don't take things as signs. I take what's needed as feedback. See, a sign would be, oh my God, I just saw an ad on podcasting on having the #1 podcast. My podcast must be going to #1. Yay. Whatever. On the other hand, when I'm imagining this podcast being the best in its genre, a big word, genre, otherwise known as genre, and it's a genre and genre. And I get some feedback. I get some behavior change. See, this is all about behavior change. I tell my friend, I tell him, I says, listen, you might not get it, but I'm a scientist. I study human behavior, and human behavior is driven by human perception. And the state of loving husband perceives things very differently than the state of loving puppy dad. The state of loving husband right now is happy that it's raining out there. Can you hear it? The state of loving puppy dad's a little concerned about Emmett, because Emmett doesn't like thunderstorms. He's imagining Emmett all cuddled up with Victoria, just being happy. Which also leads to the state of loving teacher, takes those two states and weaves a story that's true about them for you. Listen to this one a couple times. There's a lot of gold here. If you got gold today, I've got 3 suggestions for you. First one is easymanifestingmethods.com. Go there, sign up for those. We will send you a confirmation email. It may end up in your spam or junk or promotions if you're in Gmail. Drag it to your inbox. Click the link. There's a confirmation link. Click that. And you'll get goodies from us every day till one of us dies. Some people opt out. But I don't take that as a sign. I take that as feedback. They're just not ready for what we're doing. And they'll tell me. They'll say, I really like affirmations. Well, I really like results. Next. By the way, how can you say affirmations don't work, Mr. 20? Well, Neville didn't teach them for a reason. I know he mentioned Millikan, but also he mentioned Millikan took 20 hours of putting himself in a room and beating his head in. See, let's make useful distinctions. Why do that when you can feel it real? How long does it take for you to surrender to pizza? If it takes 20 hours, you're going to starve and it's going to be cold. Next, manifestingmasterycourse.com. You see, we took what Neville taught for decades, and I put it in a little course that if you came here and stayed in our cottage for 90 days and I only saw you for 1 cup of coffee a day, this is what I would teach you. It takes 15 minutes a day, cost about $1, the price of a cheapo cup of coffee. Right, $97, 90-day program. Let it rock your world. That's manifestingmasterycourse.com. Go read a couple hundred of the success stories. And you'll get why at $1 a day it's an absolute bargain. But it's full of gold. Like this podcast is. And finally, for the shares, thank you for sharing the show. Thank you for sharing your lives with us. Most MM members send us an update every 7 days. Why? Because we love you. We love getting to know you. If you send us a book, we'll tell you, don't got time to read a book. Send us something brief. Send us a little love letter. Let us know about you. And for those who share the show, thanks, gang. Sharing is caring. Somebody shared enough to share something with you today. You got gold. Why not spread it out there? It's the only thing that multiplies when you spread it. Have a lovely day. See ya.